Shalom, we are continuing with Psalm 27 of David. The Lord is my light and my help. Whom should I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Whom should I dread? When evil men assail me to devour my flesh, it is they, my foes and my enemies, who stumble and fall. Should an army besiege me, my heart would have no fear. Should war beset me, still would I be confident. One thing I ask of the Lord, only that do I seek, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, to frequent his temple. He will shelter me in his pavilion on an evil day, grant me the protection of his tent, raise me high upon a rock. Now is my head high over my enemies round about. I sacrifice in his tent with shouts of joy, singing and chanting a hymn to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud. Have mercy on me, answer me. In your behalf, my heart says, seek my face. O Lord, I seek your face. Do not hide your face from me. Do not thrust aside your servant in anger. You have ever been my help. Do not forsake me, do not abandon me, O God, my deliverer. Though my father and mother abandon me, the Lord will take me in. Show me your way, O Lord, and lead me on a level path because of my watchful foes. Do not subject me to the will of my foes, for false witnesses and unjust accusers have appeared against me. Had I not the assurance that I would enjoy the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, look to the Lord, be strong and of good courage. Oh, look to the Lord. In 2001, during 9/11, I found tremendous solace and comfort in this particular psalm. Maybe it was because the psalm was in the forefront of my mind and my awareness, since Psalm 27 is recited every morning and every evening during the last Hebrew month of the year, the month of Elul, all the way through the high holidays and through the holiday of Sukkot. And so because I had been reciting that psalm so frequently during that time, and because all of us were so deeply disturbed and shocked by the horror of 9/11, this psalm took on particular meaning. The Lord is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? I will not fear terrorism and the enemies of our people, of our country, of Israel, of good people throughout the world. I will not fear them because the Lord is the stronghold of my life. Therefore, I should not dread anyone. When evil men assail me, my foes, my enemies will stumble and fall. Though an army besieges me, my heart shall not fear. Though war beset me, still I will be confident. I used this psalm as the main subject of my Yom Kippur sermon that year in 2001. I went through this psalm line by line, analyzed it, discussed it, described it, and hopefully I was able to bring its powerful message to my congregation during that terrible time of 9/11. And so too today, during this terrible time of the pandemic, Psalm 27 has particular resonance. It resounds to the power of faith. It testifies to the strength and comfort that we can find in our belief in God. The psalm ends with the words Kaveh el Adonai, chazak v'yametz libecha v'kaveh el Adonai. The translation here is look to the Lord, be strong and of good courage. The word kaveh, though, also means hope, from the Hebrew word hope, kaveh, or tikva, hope. So the psalmist is reminding us to find strength and find courage, and through that strength and courage to find the ability to constantly and continually hope in God's presence, in God's intervention in our lives. At times such as this, we feel abandoned, we feel bereft. We look to see God's face. We can sometimes feel that God's face is hidden from us, as there is so much suffering in our world today as a result of COVID-19. The psalmist says in verse 10, "Though my father and mother abandon me, the Lord will take me in." Think of the number of people who are dying from this terrible disease, who live or who have lived in skilled nursing or nursing homes or assisted living facilities. So many have perished as a result of COVID-19, and it is not so uncommon nowadays for elderly parents to die one after the other within a short period of days or of weeks. Their children are suddenly bereft. Their children suddenly find themselves orphaned. They have been abandoned by their parents as a result of the pandemic, but still the psalmist reminds us that the Lord will take them in. In the short run, they feel bereft. They are going through terrible and deep mourning, but in the end, they will hopefully realize that God has not abandoned them forever, but God will show God's spirit and light to them as long as they are in the land of the living. And so too with us. So too with us. We may feel abandoned. We may feel alone. We may feel isolated, but we know that as long as we are alive and walking this earthly journey, we know that we can turn our hearts to God and that God will somehow find a way to reveal God's self and God's spirit to us, that we will not be abandoned, that God will not completely leave us alone. The Lord is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? I will not walk in fear every day of this disease or this illness. I will be careful and I will exercise caution according to the dictates of the authorities and medical experts around me. I will listen to their guidance and take it to heart. But at the same time, I will not walk in fear each and every day, because I know that the Lord is my light and my help. And as long as I know this, I will have strength, I will have courage, and I will hope in God's everlasting presence, love, and deliverance. May God soon deliver all of us from the darkness and evil of this pandemic into the light of health and into the light of hope. Thank you.